terms of situations that have been tough to deal with and very frustrating, it's going to be like every video because there's a bunch of wind going on, but I'm using a mic right now, so hopefully that doesn't come through. We were in Indy with the Badillac, man. Was really hoping to put on a good show and win that thing. Had it seemingly in super good shape to perform well. Just kind of crapped out on us. So it seems like everyone had bad luck at that competition. So I got to get this thing figured out. Got some events that I want to go to in the next couple weeks. For those of you who don't know, I did a tip-in at the burnout contest, and as soon as I did that, car started running like crap. So just kind of called it, drove it back to the staging lanes or the pit area, and the car wanted to stall out. The engine started making some noise, which is very weird. Just going to be diagnosing this today and see if I can figure out what it is. So definitely need to do some wiring stuff. Ever since we hooked this battery kill switch up this particular way, I've been having some problems with this thing starting and voltage issues and stuff. So I'm going to get this thing rewired back to the original way and see if we can start it up and see what kind of noises it's making, see how it's going to idle, and kind of go from there. I've got some backup engines for this thing. If it does actually need an engine, we'll talk about that in the future if we need to go down that path, but for now we got to figure out what exactly is wrong with it. So I got the seat out of this thing, had to unload our merch that we had left over, which if you need some merch, head on over to rrutv.shop.com. Help fund our trip to go to the next Cleetus and Cars in Connecticut in a couple months, please. But here's how I got this kill switch ran. So I ran it on the ground side. So from the battery, it goes to the kill switch, and then comes back from the kill switch to right here to this junction. Put this little junction terminal right there. Might be too much voltage drop going through these wires all the way back to that kill switch, and yeah, back here. So we're gonna put this stuff back on the battery and just see if it cranks up easier, which I've never really had an issue with this thing starting prior to this, so I think that'll address that. And then kind of want to see how it's running. The engine noise is kind of alarming, but first things first, kind of got to address this electrical stuff that I know is a problem, so I'm gonna get that changed right now. All right, we got everything ran back to the battery, bypassing the external cutoff switch, so we'll fire this thing up and see if it cranks over easier, if it makes some weird noises. So bear with me, I might be quiet for a minute while I try and mentally diagnose this thing, but here we go. I want to see what the voltage is on the battery, because it was pretty low the last time I started up. It was like 11.9. It's kind of why it was indicative of that voltage drop that I was talking about. Ooh, 11.4. Well, let's see what happens. Super hard to diagnose with the exhaust this loud, but might just pull the valve covers off this thing and look at it. I don't know, that it's not really making the same marble-like noise that it was making before. It almost sounds like it's at the top, but it's hard to tell. Alright guys, I yoinked the valve covers off this thing and, well, didn't really see anything out of the ordinary. So I ran it a little bit. I also checked the torque converter bolts, but I'll fire it back up and show you guys. But I'm still not hearing that knocking noise that we were hearing before. Very odd. And as you can see, I guess I should just point this out. Maybe in a little bit I'll tell you more about the engine specifics, but obviously we spin this to 7,400, and those are bone stock GM rockers, no trunnion upgrade, no nothing. Stock rocker arm, 7,400 RPM. Let's fire this thing up though and see what it looks like. It's starting to shoot oil everywhere now that the oil was getting towards the top end, but like we're still almost 14 volts with the battery back how it was, or wired how it was. Great oil pressure. I mean, 40 pounds hot. Can't really ask for any more than that. All right, it's been a couple days since we worked on the Badillac. Had the valve covers off like you guys saw. Put those back on just now. And I think what I'm going to do is drain the oil, take the filter off, and cut the filter open to see if there's any metal particulates, nastiness that's above normal nastiness from this thing. And if it looks good, I think we're just going to send the Badillac. So we got a burnout contest here in Bay City next Saturday. So I'm hoping we just find a normal wear, normal looking bad oil in this thing. No chungus chunks or anything like that. And it'll be good. We'll keep on sending it. So I'm going to grab a drain pan, some pliers, and get this oil drained. Oh yeah, she's draining. Visually, from way back here, it doesn't look too bad. So we don't have this thing warmed up at all, so it's going to drain a little bit slow. We run 2050 in this unit, so thick stuff. It's got a magnetic drain plug on it. I mean, there's some stuff, but that's kind of normal. I ain't seeing any big pieces, so that's a good sign. So we'll let this continue draining, and then we'll get that filter off there.
Hey, where we're headed?
Well, unfortunately, did an oil filter cut on this, and where we're headed is new engine land. So that's very unfortunate. So if you guys don't have an oil filter cutter, I'm going to put a link to the one that I use below in our Amazon link. So check that out. Very useful tool. Can give you a pretty good indication of what's going on in your engine, if anything weird is wearing. And for us, we found some material that you don't want to see in there. So I think what we have is some piston damage, which is I think derived from that voltage drop issue we were having. I think if it was just a engine mechanical issue, the car should have kept going. The nitrous should have kept spraying. It should have kept making noises. It should have kept making some degree of power before it had just inevitably exploded. It shouldn't just fall on its face type thing. So I think in the instance where it started bogging down, that's where that's a consequence of the voltage drop. And like I said, I don't know if there's been other wear associated with it spraying when we were off the gas. I don't really know, guys, but that engine honestly doesn't really owe me anything. It was, it's been a good engine for almost 2 years. It's seen a lot of rev limiter. It's seen a lot of burnouts. It's done a lot of cool things. And we're going to carry over what we've learned from that one into the next engine, and hopefully that one lasts even longer. So I do have an engine here that we're going to be taking apart and putting back together to be the new engine for the Badillac. We'll talk about that in another video. But first, let's get to this oil filter and kind of what I saw in here that, well, wasn't good. So kind of peeled this thing apart. I don't know if Kyle can zoom in on any of that material there, if it comes through on video, but just very...
Yeah, there's some metallic there.
Fine aluminum pieces. It's not like there was like glitter in the oil that you would traditionally get with like a bearing failure. These are like metal pieces or aluminum pieces. So just kind of going through the whole thing. and it's just pretty consistent through all the pleats on the oil filter. I was trying to see if I could find a big one or like a cluster, but they're all very fine. I don't know, there's a decent sized one. I don't know if you can zoom in on that or not.
Oh yeah, that's a decent size.
So yeah, another decent sized one right there. But it is what it is, guys. I've like I said, I got a plan together for the next engine. It's honestly not going to be, I don't want to give it away, but it's not going to be too crazy. It's going to be very similar to this with some small upgrades. So, I mean, nothing has really failed on this engine. It's still running. Like, we're going to go start it up. We have one more event we're going to take this to in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. But I've already put some new oil and filter in this thing, so let's just go start it up and, well, see what it sounds like. Well, here it is, guys. Let's just take I don't want to say moment of silence, but just all the good things this engine's done, all the bad things it's seen, kept coming back for more.
Not wrong.
A real shame to think that voltage would have killed it instead of my right foot.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for like a big boom.
Yeah.
Fireball. Not too big of a fire, but, you know, something cool.
Yeah. Well, let's, we'll just prime this real quick and then fire it up and see if our mystery noise comes back. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, plus that big boom still could happen at that next thing we're taking this to.
Yeah. But this will allow us to, have some downtime with this thing and fix a couple other things, throughout the car that it needs, upgrade a couple things. So I ain't super mad about it. Cranks way better, don't it?
Yeah. Spilled some oil?
Well, I had it running without the valve covers on it, so...
Oh, you got a little oil everywhere.
Yeah.
It does sound noisy on this side. It's so hard to tell because it's so loud.
Yeah.
That sounds like valve train noise though.
Well, guys, our noise came back. She,
And then it went away. Oh, it's a rod. Ooh, there it is. Oh, she's down the hole right now.
Yeah, she ain't happy.
I'm keeping it alive. Oh, she's a knocking. I don't think a rod would come and go.
Yeah, so now I'm thinking, I'm like, man, do we even take it to the event now?
I wouldn't. Right now we can drive it in and out of a barn or a shop or a hoist or whatever we need to do to get this motor out.
Yeah. But the event though.
Yeah, it's what, 2 weeks?
Like a week and a half.
Week and a half.
I don't think we're gonna get the motor and what we need done to this thing done in a week and a half.
Well, it's not gonna get the upgrades that you want.
Yeah, I know.
I
mean, we could put the other one in it.
We can put the other one in it and the upgrades in with the motor in.
All right, we'll have to talk about that offline. So, anyways, guys, hope this video provided some insight into the condition of a burnout engine, stock bottom end burnout engine on 250 shot of nitrous I don't know how many burnouts. A lot.
At least 6.
A lot. So appreciate your guys' support in this matter as always. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to contribute to the Badillac engine version 2, check out our Patreon link below or rrutvshop.com. Got some good side-by-side parts on there, and also some merch if you guys want to get in on that. That'd be appreciated. And we're looking forward to this new engine. So this has been a great setup, true testament to how good LS engines actually are. And we're not going to let this rain on our parade. We're going to put another engine in this, and it'll be ready for some more burnouts. It'll be ready for some more of everything. Like I said, I still got plans for this thing throughout the summer. We're going to live those out. So appreciate your guys' support in this matter. We'll see you in a couple days.